My name is Abby Robinson. From fourth generation farm girl from northern Minnesota, the CEO of an international nonprofit organization. I bring about 20 years of professional experience, and the majority of that has been in the nonprofit sector. Really, community engagement has been at the center of my life since I can remember when. It was all about family, service, community when I was growing up. What I realized was that working in the nonprofit sector was the opportunity to unite my passions for making a difference with my professional skills. And also, it was an opportunity to have a lot of fun and to get other people inspired about what I do. Think about the significant challenges and opportunities that face the nonprofit sector, especially as related to becoming sustainable and having long term impact. One word comes to mind: resources. Human and financial. Nonprofits are forever looking at how do we build up our human resource pool as well as establish a long term financial resource pool. And when it comes to human resources, I think about that talent. It's about finding new talent, it's about integrating and training that talent, and then giving a long term path toward professional success. So I really encourage nonprofits to think about that full trajectory and establishing systems and processes, and even connections that can help support that type of growth. And thinking of simple actions, one of them being setting up clear responsibilities. Second, having a mentorship type component and looking at that can be when you have age mentorship, when someone who's been in the professional world longer than someone who's new, or even length at the organization. So, someone who's been at the organization 2 years compared to 2 days, or even looking at different skill sets. So, someone who brings potentially a deep skill set on communications or finances or technology could help mentor someone who's the opposite of that. And so, looking at how you create those internal mentorship opportunities. And then we're looking at professional development and investing in the training. And this can be a financial investment. So, some organizations have pools of money they provide. Other organizations just have access to those resources. And there are a lot of libraries of learning that are available, many of them free. And just suggesting like these are the resources or classes, a lot of virtual tools that we recommend taking. So really think about that when thinking about the human resource piece is how do you find that talent? How do you integrate and grow them within your organization? And then how do you create those connections, both for immediate and long-term success? And then when you look at financial, that's about the financial sustainability portfolio that everyone talks about. It's about the individual donors, it's about the grants, it's about if you have a revenue generating source, it's really establishing what that is and what makes sense for your organization, and also what kind of collaborations and partnerships must make sense. So just be forthright. Resources are going to be key, human and financial. When I reflect on my own leadership journey, I think about some specific qualities and strategies that have been the most important in driving my success and even resilience in the work. And three things come to mind: relationships, knowledge, and curiosity. Relationships are all about the connections to colleagues within your organization, as well as connections to professionals outside, both strategic partnerships or exact collaborations you may be working on in your professional role, or even part of that broader network and community that you meet throughout your activities, conferences you attend, virtual trainings you attend. What I really encourage is people to grow those relationships and grow them by maintaining the communication, identifying how you really are aligned and how you can support one another. And even something simple as LinkedIn is a great tool. So looking at finding those connections on LinkedIn and also creating even a spreadsheet that's on for your personal use to connect with one another. And so maintaining those relationships. The second is about the knowledge. Never stop learning. So we are often overwhelmed, or at least I know that I am in our day to day, the to do list. And it is also important to carve out that time that I'm stretching myself. So whether it's with fundraising or grant writing, looking at, okay, what campaign tool, what individual tool is going to advance my work? Or how can I better enhance my research and writing for foundations? Or even something creative that's outside my scope is looking at, okay, monitoring and evaluation. What's a tool that I can use? Think about how you can advance your knowledge. And the third is curiosity. Never stop asking questions. Whether you're day one or day 1 million on your job, ask the questions. How can I do this better? How can I support others in my work? How can others do their job better? Or what are ways that we can be doing this better? So just remain curious. Just continue learning from one another and really questioning how you're doing things. So those three things are key: relationships, knowledge, and curiosity. Collaborations and partnerships are essential to the nonprofit sector, really, I think to any sector. And there are a few times in my career, my professional experience, that they have been pivotal to the success of the organization where I'm at, and even to helping us achieve our mission. And there are some lessons that I learned. And first is the lesson. So, a key learning that I take for within my work, and I really apply every day, is that those times when we are most challenged, feeling most isolated, and most alone are the times when we need to reach out most. It's also the times when you really want to curl up and think of it like when you're in a new scenario. Or I think like studying abroad is a great example. So if you've ever studied abroad, or let's say you've attended like an event or even like summer camp for the first time, and you're like, I don't know anyone. And sometimes you may think, okay, I'm just going to curl in and not reach out. And that is when you do need to reach out. You need to connect, have that coffee chat, have that virtual connect, and really solidify and inspire yourself by engaging with the energy of another human. It is the same in the nonprofit sector. When an organization is feeling the most isolated, the most challenged is when they need to reach out to either their peer organizations or their funders or their support network to find some advice, some support, some inspiration. And two examples of when I have seen this in action for an organization are: the first, the pandemic. I imagine we all have a story or thought that comes to mind when I even mention that word. And when I think about, I was working for an international exchange organization, and our mission was having people cross borders. When the world shut down, so was that ability for people to cross borders as well as for people to get home. So, what was my role? My role was reaching out to our funders and telling them we need to pivot. We need to pivot from in person to virtual. Hmm. The curious thing was that we did not know what the virtual exchange looked like at that moment, yet I was confident that we could develop a new program and it would be amazing. And it was. And it all started by reaching out and communicating. This is the need. This is the situation. This is what we propose we can do. Now, will you support us in doing it? And in doing so, our organization was able to thrive, as well as our funders. They're really able to have a stake in what we're doing. So it's like creating that collaboration and connection really helped everyone to become more invested and helped us to advance as an organization and even diversify what we offered. And we were stronger as an organization, as a community, and even in our resource pool. The second example is a little more unique and a little more individualized, is we were hit by financial fraud. Imagine you go home on a Monday and you have 6 months of financial reserves, come back, and by Monday afternoon, that has been erased to about 30 days of financial reserves. And we didn't know what to do. We didn't know where to go. And this was in January. Imagine, after all that end of year fundraising. And so we immediately put that collaboration plan into action. We reached out to our institutional funders, to our individual donors. We explained what happened. We were transparent. Yes, it was slightly embarrassing. You feel silly when something like that happens. And the response was inspiring. People empathized. People even related similar stories. People stepped up. Our institutions analyzed to see if they could forward money that would have either come earlier, or looking at if they were planning to renew funding that year, could they renew earlier? Our individuals stepped up. We even had individual staff within our institutional funders that invested because they supported what we did as a mission and they saw this is an opportunity of need. In addition, we also read the word about it, what had happened to us. It was frustrating, and we want others in the sector to know and to see what could be done. How can we support one another? And so that is when that collaboration and that partnership, yes, it can be scary. Yes, it can feel uncomfortable. And yes, it can have great results. Just really think about those moments when you most feel like curling up, sticking inside, when you could reach out and find the support you really need. Looking on my crystal ball and trying to think of the future of the nonprofit sector and looking at emerging trends or shifts and what really inspires me, there are two things that really stick out. And I see these as ongoing evolutions in how the sector has developed. And I really see them at hitting at some exciting points right now. And two of them are creative collaborations and leadership models. And when I think of creative collaborations, this is about the remote work. And what I see that this has increased the human resource pool at nonprofit organizations, that an organization is no longer limited to what's in its geography. There's the opportunity to reach out and find the skills based on where they are. And instead of talent having to cross borders, it's about skills having to be open to virtual channels. Imagine that tech professional from Southeast Asia can bring that skill to an organization operating in South America, and an organization operating in North America can bring those skills to the continent of Africa. And it's all about creating those threads and doing it in a really efficient way through these virtual tools, as well as a cost effective way. So, that kind of creative collaboration, I think, is amazing. And I also think the other is co leadership models. And so, it takes an inspired individual to launch an idea, but takes a really thriving team to keep it going. And I think it's unrealistic to think that a founder or this leader, the CEO, has all the skills, has the finance, has the admin, has the relationship development, has the fundraising. No, that is not a sustainable model. Instead, I have appreciated how this co leadership model has come up. And it's not about the individual, it's about the skills and looking at an individual with the admin and logistics is complemented by someone with the vision and the relationship building. And it creates more sustainability because if someone transitions, there's someone who brings that depth of knowledge and continuity. So, remote work, co leadership models, let's continue to see them thrive and see how they evolve into the future. Throughout my years, I have had the amazing opportunity to serve as a supervisor to emerging talent, whether that be young staff joining the organization, interns, and I always have similar advice to individuals as they start their leadership journey. And this advice continues as you're continuing on your leadership journey or enhancing or maybe making a transition. And there's five key pieces of advice. And these are all implementable and actually very simple and tangible. One, set three intentions every day. Yes, our to do list is enormous and never ending, and make it feasible by writing the three things you need to do each day. Think about it. Before you close the computer, leave your office the night before, write these three things. Or in the morning when you wake up, refresh, have your glass of water, do your morning routine, and then write, these are the three things that I need to accomplish today. And then review at the end of the day and set your three intentions for the next day. Two, find a mentor or a support circle. No one can do it alone. No one can do life alone. Find that individual or group of individuals that are your go to, that can celebrate the wins, commiserate through the lows, bounce off ideas and challenges. Especially as you continue on your journey in leadership, I think it gets lonely at the top because the CEO can't jump down to a manager and maybe ask a really thought-provoking question, a deep question that might have to do some intimate organizational information. There's an opportunity to share with someone on that same peer level. Or in the same way, you might need a fresh perspective that if you're only talking to people in your organization, you don't have the outside view. So find that mentor support circle. 3, learn a new skill every year. Challenge yourself and make it a stretch. So think about if you're in communications, maybe you should be ramping up your finance skills. Or if you're in technology, maybe you want to become a better writer. Think about how you can complement your day to day responsibilities with a unique and differentiated skill. 4, take a break. This can mean, yes, making sure you work on a vacation every year or even during the day, 30 minutes. 30 minutes at once, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon. Clear your mind. Step away from your workspace, go for a walk, read a book, do a quick exercise, whatever you need to do to refresh, reset, come back with a new perspective. And 5, say thank you. An attitude of gratitude goes a long way. Reach out to someone, say say thank you to your colleagues. Keep building those relationships with that note of gratitude. It'll be much appreciated. So these are simple actions that you don't need any elaborate plan to do, but you can implement them every day. So 1, set your 3 intentions each day. 2, find a mentor or support circle. 3, learn a new skill each year. 4, take a break. 5, say thank you.